New Year's Eve concerts at the newly renamed Trump Kennedy Center in Washington, D.C. have been canceled. It's the latest in a string of cancellations since President Trump's name was added to the historic venue, formerly known as the Kennedy Center. Trump also installed loyalists to the Performing Arts Center's board, who then elected Trump as board chair. The Hill White House reporter Brett Samuels joins us to discuss. Hey, Brett, so this latest cancellation comes from a jazz band called the Cookers. What have they said about their reasoning?
Yeah, Drew, this group that was sort of the latest, as you mentioned, to cancel a planned performance at the Kennedy Center has sort of been quiet about why exactly they canceled. When they put out a statement, they just, put out a very broad statement about the importance of performance and jazz music and all that. Although one of their band members did say in an interview that essentially it was clear that the name change played a role in their decision to cancel. So, the timing, I think, makes it pretty clear that the president's decision and the board's decision to add President Trump's name to the building, to the Kennedy Center, certainly contributed to this latest cancellation.
The Cookers also canceled concerts they had planned for April. There was a Christmas Eve concert that was canceled, a folk singer that canceled a concert in January. And this is all since Trump's name was added to the building. Others canceled after Trump pushed out the center's previous board. What are Trump's allies saying about these cancellations?
Yeah, well, as you'd expect, most Trump allies, including those who are involved with the Kennedy Center and its board, are not really taking this in stride necessarily. They're kind of pushing back on this, accusing some of these performers of essentially politicizing their performances, accusing them of being far left or anti-American or what have you. We actually saw Richard Grenell, who has been appointed as one of the top Trump allies overseeing the Kennedy Center, threatening to sue one of these performance groups that had canceled their planned show. So, the Trump allies who are involved with the Kennedy Center are clearly showing that they're going to fight back here and that they're willing to kind of try and, go after some of these artists and performance groups that are canceling.
There was talk of a $1 million lawsuit that Rick Grenell had threatened against the performer that canceled that Christmas Eve show. Is all of this hurting the bottom line of the Kennedy Center? I mean, how was attendance this year? Are they going to be able to fill up the calendar with replacement acts in the coming year?
Yeah, that's sort of been the big question, I think, ever since Trump and his allies really took over the Kennedy Center at the start of his term when, the president pushed out old board members, appointed allies, named himself the chair of the Kennedy Center. We've seen him take really a pretty strong role in the Kennedy Center since then. And since then, we have seen, a number of acts have canceled or said that they're not going to perform at the Kennedy Center. They've still managed to get a number of shows, a number of performances to fill the calendar up. As far as attendance, there's reporting that ticket sales and attendance are down significantly from past years. On the flip side, Trump allies would point to the fact that the president and his team have helped raise significant money for the Kennedy Center through donors and events there. So, it sort of depends on how you look at it as far as whether this has hurt the Kennedy Center, helped the Kennedy Center, been sort of, a wash, come out a wash, sort of a net zero. But certainly there has been quite a lot of talk about it and quite an impact one way or the other.
And Brett, before I let you go, what is the latest? There is this lawsuit seeking to actually remove Trump's name and return it back to just being the Kennedy Center. Where's that?
Yeah, so we're still waiting for that to kind of go through, the legal process. But that was Congresswoman Joyce Beatty, who is an ex officio member of the Kennedy Center board. She was the one who, after the announcement that it was renamed the Trump Kennedy Center and that it was unanimous, Congresswoman Beatty was the one who sort of spoke up and said it wasn't unanimous, that her line was muted. She didn't have a chance to speak up about this. Now she's filed this lawsuit. So as we enter 2026, that'll be something to watch because obviously there's quite a bit of pushback from folks in Congress, that this needed congressional approval to rename this building, and that obviously the White House didn't get that. So I think that'll be something to watch, just how aggressively Congresswoman Beatty and other Democrats pursue this lawsuit.
All right, we will continue to follow, but for now, we'll leave it at that. Brett Samuels, White House reporter here at The Hill. Thanks so much.
Always a pleasure, Drew. Thanks.